So the exterior of the house, everybody knows this, grading. I mean, guys, in layman terms, we just want the soil going away from the home. If you see it negative going back towards the home, have them bring in fill dirt. We just want to try to get it away because that'll make every inspection report. And we see it a lot, and it's to keep the foundation healthy without having water stacked up against it. This includes driveways, walkways, patios, anything you see, we're going to mention it if it goes back towards the foundation. Here's one I took of a brand new build about a month ago. Nobody had ever lived in it. This is a slab home, and that slab, it was just going straight towards the slab, and eventually, not now, but someday the possibility's there that you could have some problems with, the slab upheaving or settlement within the slab. So you can fix it with a drain. They call them French drains. Basically, it just catches the water and takes it back out to the street. Downspouts. So I don't know how many of these we've seen. I'm sure you guys see your reports. We just want them to go to Lowe's, grab an extension, an accordion type piece of plastic, sit it on there and get it away from their foundation. It keeps it healthy. You can buy them at any big box store, Lowe's, Home Depot, True Value, wherever. Again, guys, I'm going through this quick. If you need anything, stop me. Sump discharge. We like to see it going away from the foundation, especially if the property gets a lot of moisture around the house. That sump pump during rains can just run, and if it does, it's just going to keep recycling. The water's not getting away from the foundation. So, do you guys know
What?
around a foundation how the water gets into the sump pump?
Drain tiles?
Drain tile. They put exterior drain tile, the little black tubes with slots in it, all the way around the exterior of the home, 8 foot deep on a basement, or 3 foot deep on a crawl space. And what happens is that water's collected around and it comes into the sump pump, drains out, and then the sump pump shoots it up, and in this particular one, it was just shooting a big hole right by the foundation. So we like to see them extended.
What is the amount of that extension?
What the book says is 10, but I would like to see it just 4 or 5 feet. And it can be done with PVC. A lot of people bury these. And burying is fine as long as there's an air gap from when I don't want to get too technical, but there's supposed to be like a little air gap in case the pipe freezes. You don't want it to go back into the home. But escape wells and egress. Another thing, this is safety. So when we see, like on the top picture there, when we see no cover on there, that's a deep fall for a child. So we want it to be covered. And then on the bottom picture, we also want to make sure that if there was a fire in the home and there was children in the basement, how can they get out? A lot of these are just iron bars, and there's no way a child can lift that up. So they make them that are aluminum type to where they're very light, and they have like a hole cut in them to where the child can lift it up. Obviously, we want to see a ladder in there. But these are some of the things, like if you were walking the property with your seller, hey, let's make sure that we get this, taken care of, or we'll make the report. Sealant around any siding transitions, where it meets the garage, the siding meets, we like to see that sealed around any windows, doors. It's a handyman job, but it's going to make a report because we want to keep the water out from behind the siding. So that's an easy one that you guys can see. Dryer vents, something that makes the report a lot. Is when we're outside and we're walking around, of course you would have to lift this up, but we see these clogged a lot, and that's a fire hazard. So yes, it's a minor thing that's going to go on a report, but at some point somebody's going to have to clean it so a fire doesn't start. Masonite siding. Back in the 80s and 90s, Masonite siding, it's basically a pressed wood. It's called a lot of you might know it by hardboard. If you see it around here now, a lot of it's water damaged. Eventually it's going to have to get replaced, but if you see it, you can replace this stuff section by section. If it's just the back of the home, the bottom 5 or 6 boards up are damaged, they can just replace those. They make what's called LP Smart Lap right now, which is just basically siding in layman terms that matches this. Almost a wood grain to it at all. It's just a little different. They've engineered it a little better. So again, it will make the report if we see damaged siding. Decking. So decking, it's another safety thing when we see decks, but this is, I'm going over things that I think you can see. The ledger board, do you guys know what a ledger board is? It's what's connected to the house. That's what we call a ledger board. Just make sure that there's enough screws in it. If you just look and it's nailed, that's not right. I mean, and all they have to do is add some screws to it because it will make the report. That's what's holding the whole deck up to the house. If that fails, the deck falls. So you will see in the bottom picture there, those are called joist hangers, and see all those holes? Every hole is supposed to have a nail in it. Every one of these little holes here, it should have a nail in it. If it doesn't, it makes my report. I don't know if it makes everybody's report, but mine it does. So just handrails, are you guys familiar? They have to have a handrail on it, and it has to be a handrail that a kid can put their hand around. So we see a lot of like 2x6s on decks that are flat, that go all the way down. These, I mean, a kid, if they can't put their hand around it, I always let them know it's very minimal, but it's like, hey, you know, a child can fall through here. So, or fall down by not being able to grab it. So it's one of those things that it's a safety. Guardrails, I don't know if I put anything on there, but guardrails, we like to see the spindles or the balusters no wider than 4 inches because a child can go through there. Just little things, but I don't want to get in too deep. I just want to talk about things that you guys can see.